Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another lesson. In the previous lesson, we talked about how you can iterate over set element, and we talked about the fact that sets don't use indexes like array. So, moving on from that, we are going to look at how we can iterate over a map object. You can use a for-of loop to iterate over the elements of a map. So basically what we are showing and what we are talking about is how you can use this loop type to iterate over all these elements that belongs to different aspects of this JavaScript program language, such as the object, array, map, and set. So the focus is on how to use for-of loop to extract values directly from the elements of these entities and present it as a result. So let's take a look at an example for how you can iterate over a map. So we'll do iterating over the element of a map. So I'll take this out and I'll create a map. Create a map. Don't forget, this the way you create a map is by using the new map constructor. So here is my map object, as you can see. Now I want to iterate over it, iterate over the map object. So how do I do that? As usual, I need a place to store the values that will be gotten from the iteration. So I will make that empty string and then I can use my for-of loop const x of my map object is food. Do text plus equals x plus break, and then you can output the results. So you can see apples 500, banana 300, and mango 300. So this is how you use the for-of loop to iterate over the elements of a map object. So moving away from this, we'll be talking about JavaScript iterators. The iterator protocols define how to produce a sequence of values from an object. So by convention, when you iterate over anything, maybe an array or an object, there's a protocol that defines how to produce a sequence of value from an object, which means that it has a pattern that the iterators will follow in order to, produce the values that is needed from an object. An object becomes an iterator when it implements a next method. The next method must return an object with two properties: the value, the next value, done, true or false. Now, what is the value that is expected to be returned, or that is expected to be the number one property of an object? The value returned by the iterator can be omitted if done is true, which means that out of these two properties, one can be omitted if the other one is present. Now, done, true if the iterator has completed, false if the iterator has produced a new value. So the sequence for done simply means that if the iterator has completed the process, that will turn to true. But if the iterator has produced a new value, then that will be false. So these two things are very important to be available as the properties of an object that is expected to be returned, value, and done. And these are the protocols that defines how a sequence is being produced from an object. Now, technically, iterables must implement the symbol dot iterator method. And in JavaScript, the following are iterables, which means that part of the languages that implement the symbol dot iterator method are those that support iterations in JavaScript. And in JavaScript, the following are iterables. Now we have seen strings, we have seen arrays, we have seen typed arrays, we have seen sets, and we have seen map. And why do they support iteration in JavaScript? It is because of the fact that all of them have a prototype object that have a symbol dot iterator method, and that is why the iteration methods that have been applying on them works. So if the prototype object of each of these does not have the symbol iterator, it will not work. So these things are very important, and you should know about them so that when you come across concepts or a topic in the language, you will understand why they do what they do, how they behave the way they behave, especially when it comes to working with properties and methods of such a particular concept, such as array, object, map, sets, strings in JavaScript. So in the next lesson, we will continue, and by this, we're just going to take a look at few more things about iterators before we move on to the next thing in the subjects that we've been covering. So far, so good. So with this, I want you to just take a look at the example that we talked about earlier for how to iterate over a map and see how the for of makes it so much easy and very easy to just capture values directly from the elements of our map. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson.